So unless you've been living under a rock recently, it's become quite apparent that electric vehicles are taking over the world by storm. It doesn't matter which segment of the industry you're looking at, there's bound to be an EV somewhere in there. But what if I told you that instead of driving around in a boring $30,000, maybe $40,000 EV, you could have a prestigious German badge, a 5-seat sport activity vehicle, and a serious dose of performance that potentially can electrify every nerve in its driver's body? Well, if your eyebrows are raised, then get ready, because today, thanks to our friends at BMW of Houston North, we're going to get the chance to drive and experience the 2022 BMW iX. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another car review here on The Driveway, where today I am beyond excited. Again, we are back here at BMW of Houston North, where about a year ago I was filming with a plug-in hybrid 3 Series, but they have invited us back to drive what I can only describe as one of the most unique electric vehicles I've ever gotten to lay hands on and now drive. Again, this is a 2022 BMW iX. Basically, it's the company's idea of a all-electric people carrier that doesn't cost you 6 figures or more to actually own. Now, the one I'm sitting in is ranging up towards the $90,000 mark. This thing has quite a few options on it that you'll be seeing today, but the base price of an xDrive 50, which is, again, the model I have here, is about $83,000. So, again, not inexpensive, but not the most expensive thing on the market either. But I am done talking. I'm so excited to drive this thing, and I'm even more excited because I've got my buddy Daniel, who is the product specialist here at BMW of Houston North, actually joining me in the passenger seat for when we go on our test drive here in a bit. But if you guys are excited, then I am too, because, well, let's just get this thing on the road, shall we? Alrighty guys, so we are about to take the new iX for a drive. And sitting next to me in the driver's seat, I'm playing passenger this time. This is Daniel. He is, you're what, the product specialist for BMW Houston North?
Yes, sir.
So you've got that under your belt, and you've driven this before, haven't you?
I have, and let me tell you, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure, but I've never driven one of these, so I'm not sure what to expect, so you're just gonna have to deal with my raw reactions. But
hey, that's always the best.
Yeah, but we're on the road, so let's see what she's made of. All right, so this is sport mode, right?
Yeah, let's
see what she... Wow, the suspension is kind of floaty. I mean, this has got the adaptive suspension on it. Yeah, so it's not as firm as I thought, but...
Are you ready?
Yeah, hit it. Whoa! Whoa! That's what, 516? 5? Yeah, it's, oh my God. But it's the torque. That is just, you snap your fingers, it's instant.
Yeah.
That's like riding a roller coaster right there.
Yeah. And it's so smooth. It's like, there's no ramp up, and it's just, the power is just there.
But you know, you think about it, it's almost 600 foot-pounds of torque. This is a 5,600 pound car. How on earth does it go that fast? That's ridiculous.
I was like not too sure about electric cars at first, but once you go behind the wheel of this and also the i4, it's just a ton of fun.
Sounds like George Jetson's spaceship with that iconic.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sound.
Electric sounds.
It keeps the driver engaged a little bit.
And then that's just that 1 foot braking. You just take your foot off and just.
Yeah. Honestly, I like to keep it in B mode, because it's like when you're in B mode, it's like what they say, it's one pedal driving. Kind of like when you're driving step triangle in a manual, if you keep it in the high RPMs, engine braking, So this is like a win-win.
Oh God! Holy, good God! Whew. I mean, I can only imagine what that feels like as a driver, but as a passenger, that is...
It doesn't get old.
No, it doesn't. It hits you in the bottom of your stomach. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're giving me heart palpitations over here. Good grief. I'm only 33. I need some life left in me.
The all-wheel drive does help, that's for sure.
Well, this is standard with X-Drive, regardless of which way you go, so... Oh,
all right.
dude.
Okay, your turn, Bobby. You ready?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm stoked. Let's do it.
So we're gonna start in comfort mode just so you can get acquainted, and then we're gonna switch off to sport. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, my turn behind the wheel. So put her in drive. So we're gonna start comfort mode. So just kind of get used to just the driving dynamics and the driving mode. So I have
actually
is it still in sport? I think
it is. Let's switch real quick. There, personal.
So just to kind of get us, or I should say myself, acquainted with the car.
Yeah.
I mean, even in personal mode, it's just so smooth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's already faster and like already sporty enough in personal mode.
But you wouldn't even know that this is an all-wheel drive sports activity vehicle. Not an SUV, it's an SAV.
SAV. There you go. There you go. That's for sure.
That's still a term that I'm kind of having to come to grips with, because I keep wanting to call it a crossover, but in BMW's terms, it's
a sports activity vehicle. So, and then we have like the coupes, which are sports activity coupes, like the X6 and the X4.
And I barely even need. I'm barely pushing on the brake pedal. That one pedal braking.
It's still in D right now.
Oh, is it?
Well, it's unadapted right now. So
okay.
It could be. Yeah.
I'll put it back in engine braking.
Yeah, there you go.
But
there you go.
I mean, even just in comfort, you barely poke it. Jesus, my God.
Oh man, it's different as a passenger. Like, it's a whole new experience when you're not in control.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sitting over there like it feels like someone's punching me in my lower stomach, because it's just Holy Christmas. Wow. All right, so Daniel here has just switched it over to sport mode. We're in engine braking mode, and about 40 miles an hour. Let's see. Oh, gee. That was, yeah. I just hope no law enforcement is watching that, because that was a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. But the steering is so heavy. It's like, now you feel the all-wheel drive a little bit more. But again, I can't get over the fact that it's a 5,700-pound SAV.
Yeah.
And it goes like a Tesla. It's ridiculous.
But it handles way better.
Oh, miles better. I would get this over a Tesla any day. Okay, heart rate back to normal after all of that.
Almost. I mean,
almost.
Mine's still being a little bit. But...
Yeah, same. And my smartwatch is telling me that my heart rate is far from what average should be. But we're just getting back to the store. But I did have one question for Daniel, which is, you love the M series, M3, M4, M5, just anything with an M in front of it.
Yes.
So knowing that the future is going electric, do you still prefer the M cars or something like this?
I don't know. So at first I was, you know, kind of hesitant on what an electric car does have to offer. But after driving between this and the i4, I definitely, I don't know if I like it better than the gasoline, because, you know, you can't get wrong with the engine noise of a V8. And just a gasoline car in general. But I definitely do like this. I love the instant response, and this one does sound like a spaceship, so that's pretty cool. It
does. But I'll tell you guys what makes this iX a whole lot more exciting than just the performance is actually the looks. Now, although this thing may have the heart and performance of an ultimate electric driving machine, one thing about the iX that makes it very unique is that from the outside, it really doesn't give off that sort of aura. It looks, in many ways, just like a futuristically styled BMW sport activity vehicle. But as I said, and as we just experienced, the performance is still there. Now, one quick note before we look at the styling, this one is finished in black sapphire, a beautiful, deep, rich black with a nice bluish metallic underneath. But if you're expecting me to push a button and make it act like the prototype where it can change color from front to back, well, I don't have that feature exactly available at this moment. But what we do have is a design that sort of looks like it was based on the previous i3, but given a much more modern design twist. I mean, look at these headlights. We have full BMW LED lights, so you have the LED turn signals, daytime running lights, adaptive high and low beams, just a beautiful sculpted design. And of course, we have these signature twin kidney grills up front, which are absolutely huge. They seem to grow bigger every day. But also, one interesting fact is that down here at the bottom, there is a set of active grille shutters hidden at the very base of the front bumper here, and that allows all the airflow to get into the battery and help cool it down. As far as the options go, we actually have a few on display up at the front here, like the Parking Assistant Plus, as noted by the sensors on the lower half of the front end, and you also have a surround view camera on this particular one, both of which are a part of a pretty pricey premium package. But perhaps one of the biggest surprises of all with the iX is actually its size. It may look small from certain angles, but this thing is 195 inches long, which, to put that in perspective, that's a little over 9 inches longer than a BMW X3. It's actually about the same lengthwise as a current gen X5. So if you're looking for a spacious electric vehicle, the iX is definitely right up there with it. Now, if you also want to talk about size, and definitely a very noteworthy styling feature, you have to take a look at these. We have 21 by 9 inch aero designed black and dark silver aluminum alloy wheels. These are wrapped in some huge tires, 255 50 series 21 inch Pirelli tires. I'm going to tell you guys, I love the black on black look with just that little hint of silver. If these were all black, I think it might have been a little too much, but to add that little hint of silver in there and give it that not so busy but aerodynamic design, these things are gorgeous. Now, if you thought things like the wheels or the shrouded in grille or just the styling in general of this car was exciting enough, some of the features of this thing really have me completely floored. But some of them are pretty obvious. On a sub $90,000 car, things like power folding, body colored exterior mirrors, the 360 camera, all things like that, I would expect those to be on a vehicle like this. Also things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. We have that here as well. But the iX takes things a couple of steps further. First of all, you notice up top, we actually have a glass roof, and I'll show you how that works when we get inside. But let's just say that roof in and of itself is one of the biggest tricks in the automotive industry that I've seen for a while. But of course, this wouldn't be a BMW of any sorts without the advanced comfort access keyless access system. And first of all, have you ever seen a more unique looking key fob? And what's even more interesting is right before I started this clip, I just brought the key within walking distance of the car and it already unlocked for me. Now, if I want to unlock it without that device or without that sort of system, you just simply reach your hand behind the door handle, give it a tug, and that automatically unlocks it. But if you want to lock it, just touch your hand right here in the front of the handle. Now, although the iX's front end may carry a lot of the same distinctive features that BMWs have been known for years, when it comes to its rear end, this is where I'm starting to see a lot more of BMW's aim at the future. And it even boils down to just the little details. If I unlock this car, for example, it has full LED taillights, as you would expect, pretty much the same as the front. But you notice that strobing effect going across the entire light before they fully illuminate automatically. But it also has some very typical EV things, like the fact that down low, not only do you have the little fins at the bottom, but first of all, there's no fake exhaust tips, which I really genuinely enjoy, but also there's no exhaust whatsoever. The only thing really down here at the bottom you need to worry about is the rear half of that Parking Assistant Plus that I was talking about before. But you know, even with all this electronic witchcraft and wizardry going on underneath, the iX is still a true BMW sports activity vehicle at heart, because inside it has enough room for 5 people comfortably, and it also has a spacious storage area in the back. Now, by using the Comfort Access key, not only can you just push a button and the power tailgate will rise up on its own, but as long as you have this key on you, you can use BMW's hands-free tailgate access. But then once that giant tailgate opens, first of all, you're greeted with a very unique sight, because in here is actually an onboard lighting system. You actually have little red lights along the bottom here. However, size-wise, the rear cargo compartment is still very utilitarian. Behind the second row of seats, you're looking at 36 cubic feet of cargo volume, which is more than enough, right? But then all you can do is push these little buttons right here, and you watch as the second row of seats 40-20-40 split fold and fall away from you, revealing now 78 cubic feet of cargo volume. So again, the iX may be an electric performance car underneath, but at its heart, it's still a genuine BMW SAV. But while the body of the iX and its electric powertrain certainly derive a more futuristic approach, BMW still hasn't forgotten what their cars are all about, and yet they've still managed to add a very futuristic touch to a very driver-focused interior. Look at this. We have a full black interior with the most unique quilting on these leather seats that I've ever seen. It's completely asymmetrical, nothing diamond quilted or anything here. It's all unique to the iX. Now, these seats are heated and ventilated on this particular model. The ventilated side of things comes at an optional cost, but one of the funny things, particularly pertaining to the power adjustments for the seats, is that they've actually moved them up here to the door. You have a 2-person memory setting for both sides as well. But I love how simplistic everything is, like everything from the control panel in the center to the 2-spoke geometrically designed steering wheel, and definitely the high-tech screenage that we have going up here on the dash. But then once you're actually inside the iX, the first thing that jumps out at you is that it feels like you're sitting in front of the most high-tech gaming desktop that you could ever imagine, with a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel in front of you. I mean, just to start with the steering wheel, leather wrapped, big grips, all the controls you could possibly want, from your adaptive cruise control to your natural voice recognition and integration, audio functions, volume, Bluetooth, you name it, it's all right here at the touch of your fingers. But look at these screens, 12.3 inches for the gauge cluster and 14.9 inches for your infotainment system with BMW's new iDrive 8. But I love how the screen, right as it gets to the infotainment, it's curved more towards you. Again, going back to that driver-focused mentality, it is just so much more aimed at driving rather than being a premium vehicle, even though you have all these beautiful luxury options in front of you. But if you want to talk about unique factors in this car, one thing that kind of is interesting, to say the least, is you notice there's no actual door handle here. If you want to actually open the door, there is a door actuator. So you push this little button, and as soon as you open the door and even close it back, you notice the car has already powered down, except for the climate control, just in case you're still sitting in the vehicle. But once you get out of it, walk away, the car will then lock itself if you have that setting on, and all of this will power down. Now, while it's always nice to see familiar BMW technology like the Live Cockpit Pro system that we have here on this 12.3-inch screen, the real gem of this whole technological masterpiece of an interior is what is right here. A 14.9-inch high-definition screen containing BMW's iDrive 8.0. It was only last year that we were looking at iDrive 7, but this iDrive 8 is anything but absolutely exquisite. I mean, look at this. It's all touch responsive. You can do absolutely anything in here. Just like before, you can actually add different widgets into the screen itself. So everything from your clock, traffic conditions, everything else. You can do things like your BMW personal assistant, route previews. You can go into your car settings and figure out exactly how much power you're using. I mean, anything you want, it can all be done at the touch of your fingers. And even better, look at things like the navigation system. It's like a smartphone. You can pinch to zoom or scroll in and out. I mean, look at this. It is absolutely beautiful how this whole thing works. Now, the navigation and everything is cool, but my favorite part is because of the premium package on this car, if you pop this car into reverse, you can see you have the surround view monitor, which is not bad. I mean, it's everything you'd expect from a 360 camera system. You have the rear view camera, the front and rear park assist, and so on, but you can actually change which cameras you want. And one of my favorite parts is if you switch to the side, watch this. Everything becomes three-dimensional, and you get a clear representation of what is around the car. But some of the things within the infotainment, just by using the screen itself, some of these things are just crazy. Like, if you want the climate control, it is so tailorable for both the driver and passenger, and there's even a third zone in the back seats. But let's say you want to turn up the volume on your radio. I mean, there's a little button right here, a little scroll wheel. You can use that, no big deal. But instead, why don't you just rotate your finger? But speaking of audio systems, the iX comes with one of two audio systems that you can pick from. The standard one, like we have here, is an 18 speaker Harman Kardon audio system. I mean, look, there is speakers everywhere. There's a couple in the doors. There's a huge one up here on the dash. They're just absolutely everywhere. But if you really load one of these out, like I'm talking an M60i, I believe is what it's called, you get a 30 speaker diamond quality surround sound system with literally speakers in more places than you could shake a stick at. But also, remember that sunroof that I was talking about earlier, or I should say just a giant sheet of glass? If you really want to see the most tricked out thing that you can get on the iX, watch this. One push of a touch activated icon, and now it's completely frosted over. But then what if you want to be a rear occupant in the iX? Well, if you open the door, first of all, you get a pretty decently sized entry space, and because of its overall size, getting into the back here, it is so easy to get back here. I have boatloads of leg room, even with the seat exactly where I would have it as a driver at over 6 feet tall. But look at the amount of stuff you get back here. Look at this. You got 4 USB-C charging points back here, 2 in the back of each seat. You have the third zone for the climate control, heated rear seats as well. And the space is just, I mean, as fifth gear presenter Jason Plato once said, I mean, the rake on the back seats is just wicked. I feel like I'm sitting in an armchair back here. And as I said earlier, you also have the 40-20-40 split fold seat function. So, I mean, you have cup holders, you have all the basics, but if per se you want to put something long through the back of the car and you don't want to have to fold down all of these seats, you can still take down this little middle part here as well. And unfortunately, this now wraps up our review and drive of the all-new 2022 BMW iX. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this review, because I certainly have, and I could not have done it without the people here at BMW of Houston North. They've been so kind and so professional, and they lent us the latest in BMW's electric series of vehicles to have some fun with here at their property. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up, and also while you're at it, hit the subscribe button down below, because trust me, I always appreciate the support, and it is beneficial for the both of us in the end. But again, guys, my thanks goes right back to BMW of Houston North, and definitely be sure to check out the information that I've provided on this location in the description box below, and also be sure to check them out on Instagram. They definitely are posting some awesome stuff, and definitely will be posting more in the future, and I hope to be coming back and posting more stuff from here as well. But in the end, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I will see y'all next time. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.